Hi friends, welcome or welcome back. My name is Maria. I am a Romanian kniter living in Norway and I'm back. A week has just passed and I want to give you some updates. I'm very stressed with this dress to not open here. In this episode, I will talk about only about the finished objects or projects I have, and the ones that are not finished, but they got a little bit of progress. And you will see more finished objects because in the last episode I only talked about my works in progress and I didn't show you what I have finished since the episode before the last. So let me introduce you to another finished vest, and I could not be more happy with this. This is a vest. It's a pattern that you can find in Rowan magazine number 78. And as a disclaimer, this original pattern, it is not a color work. However, when I got the magazine, even if I had my glasses, when I search the pictures to see what the patterns are featured in this wonderful vest, which name of the pattern it is Kolina, and it is by the designer Georgia Farrell or Farrell. I hope so. And it's actually a solid color. It's not a color work. So what I have is a contrasting color here. They're actually pearl stitches. So the motif that I have in color work, it's actually pearl stitches. And I didn't realize until I start to work the vest. And when I went to the chart, I saw that there were black dots, and I thought, this is a little bit weird. I didn't sew this in a color work chart unless there are multiple colors in that chart, like for example in the marine woolen chestnut cardigan, which I have on my needles. But if there are two colors, they're not the contrasting color, it's not like black dots. And I started to read a little bit the pattern and I realized, okay, so this is not color work. And I decided to make it into a two-color vest because this is what I actually wanted for this project. And I already had the colors, the yarns, and yeah, my mind was just set up on this project as a two-color project. And I thought, okay, how hard can be to make this vest into two-color project. So this is bottom up, worked bottom up to underarm. The body and the fronts are worked together, and then you work separately, the fronts up to shoulder and the back separately. Now, because I decided in the last moment to make it a colorwork vest, I didn't want to complicate my life. So I knew math was essential, but I didn't spend too much time wanting to, to have a perfect match for the fronts, for example, because I don't know how much you can see in this video. The fronts are not quite identical because it starts in a way and the row ends in a way. So it's not matching, but you just have to take this vest in your hands and really, really search for it to notice. And I don't mind. I think the biggest problem I had with this project was that when reaching, so I work first the back and then the front. At some point, it says in the pattern to continue straight until the vest measures, for example, for my size was 26 centimeters. And I thought, okay, and it's not even ending there for the upper back. So I thought 26, it's a lot. I don't think I want that. So I continued and I worked up to 21 centimeters. And then I thought I will make some decreases to end the back, but they were actually short rows. And again, I had to take a step back and I thought, okay, we cannot do this because it's two colors and it was too complicated, not impossible, but would have made my life so hard with this project, which I didn't want. And I thought, okay, every time it says work to 5 stitches after the last turn and then turn, when I turned, actually I bind off those 5 stitches. So it's very hard to explain what I have done because if you know, you know. I don't usually take notes, which is silly because maybe somebody else will want to make this, but I'm sorry. I have no notes. And I've done the same with the front. Now, this vest features an I-cord at the opening arms, neck, the sides of the vest, of the fronts, because there are no buttons, and the hem. I only have I-cords at the underarm opening, at the neckline. I want to check if I have it. Yes. And this tie. The sides and the hem, on both I've made a double knitting, and even for the hem I made it vertically. Vertically, do you say vertically? Yes. So I picked up stitches just as you do for the bottom bands. And it looks like very wide I-cord with the huge and important difference that is not rolling up. So that's a win-win. I am very happy. I would have loved to match the length or the width of the hem with the width of the bottom bands. Checking my dress. But it's already a little bit longer than I'm usually making the vest. I don't know if you can see, but I do like it. So that's nice. I've used the brown. It is a leftover from another project. It is Ask from Hillesvåg, and rust, orangey rust. It is a leftover from another project from I don't know. I think 2 years ago. It is Isayer Jensen, and if you ever think about it, you can match these two because they are perfect together and they feel the same in thickness. Even if Ask is labeled as a sport and Isayer Jensen as a DK, in my opinion, they are the same. I had to buy another 100 grams of the brown because I did not have enough. In the pattern, the vest is made in one color and all the I-cord details are made in a contrasting color. But I wanted this rust. I mean, when I choose the yarns I had in my stash, because if I could have got new yarn for this project, I would have definitely choose different colors. But I stick with my stash and leftovers, and I thought I have to do something with them because they were like 150 grams of Jensen, and I had like 100 gram of Ask. I mean, there was quite a lot of yarn, and yeah, I had to use it, and I'm happy I did, because I know it's spring, and I know these colors are not spring colors, but um, it's the only dress that I think it goes perfectly with this vest. And talking about dresses, this is a linen dress that was a disappointment. This is from Old Linen Mill, and it was actually my first order to them, and I got 3 dresses. I spent, I think, more than $400 on these dresses. I think almost $500. So it was my only purchase after trying to save six months money to buy new dresses. And this is alternated already. I think actually all 3 of them. This neckline, I will open here, is modified by the wonderful lady that has a fabric store in Bergen, because this front was coming up here, so the front was higher than the back, which was extremely weird. And the bodice of the dress, it was very long. I mean, it was coming here, and it was awful, because in my order I just I wrote about modification, and they accepted, and they said in the message that I have to think very well, because they won't accept to return these dresses. And I don't know what modifications they've made, because the dresses were totally wrong, the 3 of them. So after I kept them in the closet because I just couldn't wear them, then I went to Bergen and to this fabric store, and Carolina, the owner, she is so talented, and I am so happy I have her to help me. And I explained her the problem, and she actually took out, even I had an extra button here because the bodice was longer, so she cut the dress, took out of the bodice, and sew again, and made this modification, which was quite complicated because she didn't she had to cut and to lower the front, but didn't affect the joint here on the shoulders. I don't know how to explain this. What I'm trying to say is that I love linen dresses. I love them. This is my wardrobe. I don't invest in other things. I think after 2 years, I got myself black jeans for my job at a kindergarten. And unless they're underwear or bra or I don't know, a cotton t-shirt, I don't buy clothes from stores. So I save and buy linen pieces or buy wool and make myself sweaters, cardigan, and now I'm doing vests. And when you are saving and you order something and things go wrong, I mean, I reach them in a positive way, reach them to help me, to offer me a solution. What can I do? Because I cannot wear the dresses. And they just caught me, very unpolite actually. And then I said, okay, I will never, ever order something from you, I will never ever recommend something from you to somebody, because maybe you are lucky and you don't have this problem, and I'm sure a lot of people, but what if you are saving 6 months this money and then end up with things that you just want to cry because you cannot wear them. So this is the story of this dress, and I still have to take all my dresses, so Carolina can help me to put something here on the back, because all the dresses from all the companies I got so far, they are all opening here, and it's stressing me. So yeah, was a large explanation, but just in case you are wondering, this is not a perfect linen dress. This is old linen mill dress. And because we're talking about dresses, I realized that I should start to save and to buy a few pieces in just plain color, not with flowers and checks and everything, because it's sometimes when with my knitting, it's very hard to match those dresses with color work or like this vest into color. So it's very hard. So I have to think about it. Okay, let me show you my next finished object, which I also love. And this is my self-drafted vest. So I've made this dress using alpaca from Sandnes Garn, and this yarn was sitting for years in my stash. This was originally yarn that I got to make baby clothes for photographers, and when I gave up on working for photographers, I end up with a lot of yarn. However, these yarns are not quantities to make a sweater or a cardigan. There are quantities to make hats, mittens, I don't know, scarves, and vests, because this is that's why I am so excited, because I have the chance to use a lot of these leftovers. Plus, this alpaca, they don't produce anymore. But they have another alpaca. Well, they had it at the same time with this one, and it's still available, but it's called mini alpaca. So it's the same yarn, but in a fingering weight version. And this is a DK version of the yarn. Now, I've used these two motifs panels from one of the books of Mary J. Mucklestone, and I actually made some mistakes. First of all, I've made this vest with 3mm needles. I didn't even realize I should have went up to at least 3.5, because this was DK yarn and color work. Luckily, with washing, I just pull this aggressively like never before, and it fits very well. So I'm happy. This is a bottom-up construction. Now, regarding the colors, so originally I started this with white, and then I've made this motif, and then I went back to work again the first one. And when I worked the first one again, I forgot to use the white. And I realized when I finished the second repeat of the motif, and I looked at it, and so I'm not going back. I will not unravel. And then I continued to change, because I wanted to break these greens here, and I switched to this color, and then I switch again to this motif with white. These motifs are, the big one, it's 26 stitches repeat, and the other one is 12 stitches. What I have done up to underarm is to, whenever I finish the big motif and started the new one, the small one, At a small one, I increased like, I think 4 stitches, if I remember correctly. And then when I started again the other one, the big one, I decreased those extra stitches. But this, I have done this just up to underarm. When I work the back and the fronts, I give up on doing this motif. I want you to know that this vest turned out perfect for my body. I love how shaped it is here. I love the neckline. I love that does not sit higher on my neck. I like very much the length. And I like that for every part of the 1 by 1 ribbing, it is actually double folded. So it was a lot of work, but I truly believe this is totally worth it. And from now on, all of the vests I'm making, and I have 1 by 1 ribbing, I will do double folded finishing. Because in my opinion, a vest, it is of course a small piece and does not have maybe the drape or the weight of a sweater or a cardigan. So it needs help to gain more structure and more drape. And I think this double folded 1 by 1 ribbing is doing a perfect job. This was a challenge in terms of waving in ends. I just want you to see how it's looking on the inside. This was a project where I think only on one row I might have catch the floats from all the motifs, just one row every, I don't know, 40 rows or something, because yeah, there was no need to do this. So this is how it's looking, and this is how the waving. I had a little bit of, I was a little bit worried because in my opinion, when working with alpaca, alpaca, it behaves a little bit like, I don't know, cotton yarns, linen yarns, bamboo yarns, you know. It is a little bit tricky to wave it ends because it's not, the fiber does not stick like wool. It is very, how do you say, not sliding. It is very, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. I don't find the word in English, I'm sorry. So yeah, I try my best to wave in ends to have no problem, and I love it. I love it. I really love this. And I still have some alpaca in my old stash. And I have, I think from one color, I have like maybe 5 balls of yarn. From this, more specifically, I think from this rust, it's almost like my dress. Or maybe from this red, I'm not sure. But I also have some brown, some green, and I think beige or gray or some blue. And I have to just clear a bit more my needles, and I will do another vest in another motif, of course. I will keep the construction because I love it. I really think that bottom-up garments are fitting very nice compared to those top down, because when doing bottom up, you have the possibility to do more shaping around your upper body. And I think it is a possibility that you don't have with top down with some exceptions, of course. But in general, you can shape more a garment. And I know I hear a lot of knitters saying, bottom up, I don't know. Try it and you won't regret it, especially when you know what works for you. Modifying it become easier and easier to do it. I love it. I really love it. And I have to say that this is not my first vest, but I do like more the vest that I am knitting. I like more the self-drafted vest and the fit of them. And I think it's normal because the pattern is general for trying to fit almost all kind of bodies, but when you self-draft, you do something for your own body, and this is absolutely wonderful. I love it. And I am so happy I've made it. I worn this already. And I want you to know that I don't like alpaca in sweaters or cardigans. I don't think it wears nice, at least the one I used so far. But I do like alpaca in vests. And yeah, this is one of my finished projects. Now I will talk about what I have finished since last week. Okay, in the meantime, I had to check what I am cooking. I don't know for who, because my husband is working. My son is at my husband working place, and I am invited to have lunch, dinner with my neighbors because the boys are not home. So, but I'm cooking for tomorrow, so it will be good. Okay, in my previous long episode about my works in progress, I've told you that I have 19 whips, or not whips, I don't like this word, projects on my needles. Today I can tell you that I have 15. Briefly, I will mention that I finished one of the baby bonnets. I will keep it like this because this Angora is shedding like crazy, and it's, yeah, this is a newborn. It is the fluffiest thing. Please be aware that this is not day by day wearing. This will be on the head of the baby just a few seconds until the photographer takes a wonderful picture. So this does not sit on the baby head too long. And I finished, and I think it's pretty. And I finished another vest. I'm so happy. I finished another self-drafted. I love this self-drafting so much that I'm planning to self-draft as much vests as I can, and I have yarn in my stash. This is another bottom-up. I showed you in the last episode that it was a work in progress. I love it. It is a little bit shorter in the body, like this one, like 5 centimeters, but it's my mistake. And I will leave it like this. I don't want to modify it because I have a not perfect linen dress. I think maple dress, I'm not sure what's the name. And until yesterday, I thought, okay, I'm sad, but I have to sell that dress. That dress has a very short bodice. I mean, the bodice is ending right where my bra is ending. It's very weird. And just the thought that I spent so much money, I don't know what happened. I don't know why they modified. I mean, it might work for some people, but for people with larger busts, and I am one of them, I mean, it's too short. And I took it with this vest, and it works perfectly because that bodice is short. If I take this vest with a dress like this that has the normal for me bodice, I will just keep pulling this to cover where the bodice ends. But with that one, turns out perfectly. So I will leave it like this because I think it's okay to have it in different length for different outfits, let's say so. But I do love it. I do love it. This is another motif. It's a very simple. It's 8 stitches repeats and 8 rows, and it's from, again, one of the books of Mary J. Macklestones. Thank God I invested in these books. I know you can find it on the internet. You can find free, or almost, I don't know if all of them are free, charts. But I don't know, there is something about having books and, you know, seeing what are your options, and yeah, it's a different way of being inspired having the books. Now for this I've used the dark beige, which is a brown beige, I would say. I've used 2 strands together of Shetland 2 ply, and contrasting the green, it is cone wool, also held, one strand held together with alpaca one from Isayer. It's very light. I love how they work together. I have been working with this wool green, but in a beige. I've made a sweater at some point. I talked about it, and I've used this cone wool double stranded, and I don't like the result. But here, holding one strand of wool with one strand of alpaca made it so different in texture and how it feels and how it stretch of, I don't know, this alpaca helped a lot with it. So it's not dried anymore. This is the back of the vest. Again, this is a motif that you just don't need to catch the floats. This is the front and this is the back. I was worried that I had too many stitches on the neckline because here I have 180 stitches, which, yeah, with 3mm, 2.5mm, it's quite a lot, but I do like. Oh, and what I forgot to say is that for both of them, I joined here by sewing this together. And I've done the same on this, and I do like how they are looking. I don't know if you can see the join. I think it complements so well. Yeah. And what can I say? This is another success for me, and I love it. I love it. I love it so much that I want to finish the third one that I have on my needles, also a self-drafted. Although I am a bit unsure if I have the right numbers on that one, but yeah, maybe it's too early to make a judgment. Yeah, I don't have too much to say about it, just that I enjoy it. Oh, and I told you last week that I was about to take out the rib and make a double folded, and I've done that. It is a little bit shorter. I could have done this ribbing longer, but I'm happy. I'm happy with the result anyway. Again, I love the fit here at the underarm. I don't like the vest with too long here, too deep. As you can see, I have this like this, and I love it. And I've done the same for this too. Yeah. So this is a finished object from last week, and a happy project. And yeah, I'm so grateful I can do this for myself. I mean, you know, it's not about that I don't want to buy a knitting pattern or support the work of a designer. I'm doing this every month. It's funny how we always do the math for how much money we spend on yarn, but we never do the math how much money we spend on knitting patterns and books, and not only pattern books, but stitch dictionaries and all kind of things, you know. So, but I do like to self-draft because I know I have more chances to end up with something that I truly love the fit. Although sometimes I have to recognize it's easier to modify a pattern that you already have. But it's a whole different level of happiness being able to self-draft something that will fit you so nice and you feel good in it. Yeah. And another project I finished, haha, look at this. I finished my mittens. And I love them. I didn't wash them, and I won't wash them because I don't need to do this. I remember that this is, of course, there is fluff everywhere, as you can see, because this is Angora. I've used one strand of Angora from Katia. This is a Spanish producer. And 2 strands of lace alpaca, I think from Lana Gato, because this is yarn that I got when I lived in Romania. I don't know if 7 years ago or 8 years ago, something like that. And the guidance for these mittens are a pattern. I'm not sure if it is free. I will put it on the screen. From Think and Knits. I think it's the worldwide Mittens or something like that. I don't remember exactly. I don't know what size I've made. I know for sure that I've made a child size because it seems that I have small hands, and I know I've made a child size. It's a very clever pattern. It's kind of a version of the muscle bore. How do you pronounce? It's not muscle borrow. It's muscle bore. Ikesant. I was talking in Norwegian. My God, I think muscle bore hat. You know, when you have different choices for different gauges. I think it's something like that with these mittens. I mean, you have a lot of options. In general, with Think and Knits patterns, you have plenty of options. And they are done. And I am so happy. I am so tempted to make another one. This will be perfect at the kindergarten. Believe it or not, we are still using mittens in some days. I have 2 pairs, not handmade. Because, yeah, when you sit in a place or, you know, it's windy, you feel the need. And the children also, they wear mittens because they are playing, and little hands can be very cold. So happy. Oh, and what I have done here, because I don't like long cuffs and long, it's the same for socks and mittens. I just fold it inside and sewn this down. And here it is. After almost 4 years, I have a pair of Angora mittens. And I'm sure they will be very warm. And it's so silly because it took me just half an hour to finish this. Half an hour, guys. That's it. That's all I needed. Half an hour. And I have another finished object that I cannot bring it to you to see it, but I will make a video to put it here. I finished the Ingrid pullover and I just washed it this morning and it's laying flat on the floor. So that's why I cannot show you, but it's finished. Oh my God, I am so happy. I'm still unsure if I truly needed this sweater in my wardrobe. I don't know, I'm looking at it and I hope to fall in love with it again because right now I don't know why I choose to make the Ingrid sweater again. So it's the only pattern I've made 3 times so far. I don't know. I just don't know. I could have choose something else, something new, something different, something lighter. But it is what it is. It is finished. I've made size 2. But I will show you in the next episode. Now, let's get into what I am working next week. So first of all, I managed to put all my stitches back to the needle for the Bloomfield tee by Knitonomy. And I've already put a stitch marker here, so I've done like 3 centimeters so far, and I still have to make like 2 centimeters still, and then to make the hem and to wash it again. So I'm sure I will be able to do this next week, these days. It's crazy that I have a leftover ball of yarn, and I don't know if you can see, it's from where I started, it's looking like it's a different color. I don't know, maybe because this is not washed, I don't know, but it's the same dye lot, so this I know for sure, but we shall see. So this is a pattern by Knitonomy. I test knitted this Bloomfield round neck tee last summer, and I decided to make, I don't remember if I've made, I think size 3 I've made, and I've made it with negative ease to put it on top of a sleeveless linen dress. And I've used 3mm needles, and the yarn, I hope it will focalize. The yarn, it is Isaiah Marilyn, and this is the color E0. I love this Marilyn. I was thinking yesterday, talking to my knitting Romanian friends, that I would love to make this one day. I would love to make another garment with this yarn because it's wonderful. I really, really think it's wonderful. Maybe one of the best from Isaiah, I would dare to say. And it behaves very well. This is 80% wool and 20% flax. And of course, 50 grams and 208 meters. So yeah, I like it and I do recommend you. So this is a plan for next week because I am very close to finish. And another thing I want to work next week at, so this is sitting here because yeah, I have made a bit of progress at the Snuffs and Vest by Thea Coleman. I've made a progress in terms of I reached the length I need up to underarm. And now I can start to work the fronts and the back separately. This is how it's looking. And here I am making size 1 in the pattern. I don't think if I mentioned this last time. And I'm using 4.5mm needles. And the yarn, it is Yellow Wool Spinnery. It's a Danish brand that Petit Knits is using very much. I have to say something. If I should have choose in between this yarn and Peer Gynt from Sannes Garn, I am very sorry, Sannes Garn, but I will always choose this yarn. If you have the possibility to work with this yarn, if you like rustic yarns, good quality yarns, then this one might be an option. I know it's expensive if you're not living in Europe, for example, but it's worth it. I mean, you can see the moment you start to knit with, it's wonderful. I truly believe this is one of the most, how do you say, good quality yarns I have worked so far. I don't know how it wears, but it has, you can feel it has a strength, this yarn. You can feel it when you work with it. You feel this, I feel the same when working with Rauma Finul from Rauma. So I have the same feeling. And I don't think this yarn will peel if you are into the non-peeling yarns, because my God, this was my second project started. And I just carried this from here and there in all kind of bags, and it got a lot of friction, and I don't see not even a peel on it. So I think, yeah, I think it is a very good quality yarn so far. But as always, surprises can happen, but I will tell you more once I'm actually starting to wear the garment. But this is I believe it is, I truly believe it is a very good quality yarn. So this might be another project that I will work next week. I am also very tempted, but it's just 1 week and I don't want to put pressure on me. If I don't feel this project, then I thought to come back and make an effort. Just a second, because I don't know where I put them. Make an effort and finish. These are all my projects, you see. I have them in bags. I will make an effort to finish the front of this Aberdeen Argyle sweater, but I'm not sure. I shall see. I'm not hurrying up things, because if I'm getting stressed, I will start to cast on something new, which I truly, truly don't want. So I have another finished object that I don't have it with me, and I don't have it in the house. I looked it in my car, but maybe it's in my husband's car, and maybe I will show you next week. I finished hat musselburgh from Isolda Tig in Cardiff, Kashmir. All I can say is that unless you truly can afford this yarn, unless you are very sensitive to odor and you really need a hat, then go and invest in that yarn. But for me, who am lucky enough to not be sensitive to mohair or very rustic wool, I think the money I spent buying the 4 Cardiff Cashmere Classic, it was a waste of money. I still have one full little ball that I hope to return to the store and to, I don't know, take something else. I'm wearing the hat. It's a little bit small because I intended to make it small. In my experience, the hats are growing and growing and growing, and I thought if it will grow to my actual circumference head. It didn't grow so far, but I didn't wash it either, and I don't want to wash it, but we shall see. I will show you the hat if I find it, which I don't want to think about it, how much money I spent for that hat and to lost it or lose it. But this is the only thing I will say. It's not worth it. And I know that cashmere is very popular right now, but not always popular is the best. And that's everything I want to say. It was my first and my last purchase of Cardiff Cashmere Classic. This is what I'm saying now. I don't see myself spending the huge amount of money making a garment with it when I love my wool so much. And I think that's all I have for today. I hope this will bring you a bit of inspiration if you need it. I'm sure you have your own beautiful projects on the needles. I will keep updating you with my progress of clearing my needles of all these crazy whips. But I am also considering to not do the podcast anymore. I will let you know because I know those of you who like this will watch it. But yeah, sometimes I just don't feel the motivation to do it. And if I will get to a point that I feel I'm not becoming, I'm not me myself, I'm not anymore myself with this podcast, then I will end up and not making anymore because I want to be myself. I don't want to be somebody else. But we shall see. Now I will let you with your Sunday, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you have wonderful projects on your needles. And I'm thinking about you, and I'm thinking about all the wonderful children that are suffering in this moment because we choose monsters to guide our lives and countries and the future of our children. And for the moment, that's all I can say. I will never, ever in my life approve such a violence, especially toward the people that are so innocent. And it makes me sick, and I'm trying to do my best to be a better human being, but there are days when it feels literally too much, and I feel like we are living a nightmare. I feel like every day when I wake up, I read all the stupid things, and I'm still wondering, is this a bad movie and we will just, I don't know, wake up when the movie is ending? Or what is this alternative that we are living? So I have my knitting, and it is a joy. I have my reading, and I have the beautiful Romanian knitters community that we are building, and it's a way of distract a little bit and not losing your mind. But it's hard. It's very hard not to think about all the people and the families that are suffering in this moment. Is just breaking my heart. And I am coming from an ex-communist country. I am coming from a country that suffered for decades. I am coming from a country where almost 40 years ago, children with disabilities were taken from the family, considered monsters, and locked down. I am coming from a country where you were afraid to express feelings or a thought in your own head. So if I will see a comment in this video that will offend all the people that are suffering, I just want you to know that I will delete it and not even bother to answer. So I hope here we are the ones that are sharing healthy values. This is all I wanted from this channel and in general. But if not, then this is definitely not your place. So I'm sorry, but I don't, that I don't talk about these things, not because I'm not aware of them or not because I don't care, but I've tried to make of this knitting podcast just knitting content. But yeah, we should speak the truth because there is no excuse for what's happening. There is absolutely no excuse, And again, I'm coming from an ex-communist country. I am a baby born in communism. I am a child that grew up without warm water in the house. I am a child that grew up without heating in the house. I am a child that grew up without electricity, and I've done my homeworks for years at the candle light. And I am a child that remembers mother woke me up at 5 in the morning or 4 in the morning and go to the store to sit in 2 kilometers row, and hopefully I will be able to catch some milk, because my sister was a baby and she needed milk because there was no formula in the hospitals, or there was nothing like this, and the babies were dying because of this. And I am a child in a communist country that remembers the bread being cut and having a coupon, so you cannot forget these things. Just like other countries, they have their history and their, resilience. Just like this, we Romanian have our memories. So what's happening out there and in that big country that represented so much hope for this planet, it's shameful. And yeah, that's everything I want to say. Now I will leave you with your day. I hope I didn't make you sad, but it is what it is, and I don't want to hide what I am feeling. And this is what I am feeling, that crazy people are destroying our future and the future of our children, and they are destroying already the life of children and families, innocent. So I hope to see you next week, and I wish you happy knitting. Bye bye.